Well, from the start of the pandemic, our concern, all of us, has been protecting those we love most, and that includes our kids.
Governor Tony Evers says all K-12 schools statewide will close beginning next Wednesday.
New worries tonight about thousands of Wisconsin students, though, who may have fallen off the grid when it comes to schooling.
The public school head count from 2019 to 2020 dropped by 23,000 students.
The number of new COVID cases in children has reached a new record high.
According to the American Academy of Pediatrics and the Children's Hospital Association, there were nearly 154,000 new cases of COVID in kids last week, the highest weekly increase since the pandemic began.
Nearly 1 million Wisconsin children in grades K through 12 will be affected.
Reason today, the American Academy of Pediatrics recommended they wear masks during sports instead of just on the sidelines.
It's a decision the governor says didn't come lightly.
With a vaccine possible for all kids as soon as the start of the 2021 school year.
I would say the level of stress was extremely higher, and that's due to several factors. Obviously, that we're in a pandemic year, and that's stressful just being in a pandemic. But then the uncertainty of not knowing the staffing that we'll have on a day-to-day basis, because some staff have come down with COVID or they've been labeled close contacts. So that part's been stressful. There was a situation late October, early November, where our numbers were quite high with close contacts with students and staff. And there were a few days we didn't know if we'd have enough staff in the building to provide face-to-face instruction.
I'll tell you, last fall, I think it was very stressful, and I think that staff, before we started last fall, we were concerned, are kids going to follow the mandate? Is Governor Evers going to extend it? Is it going to be overturned? And that kind of thing. It was very, very stressful. My honest opinion, I am really shocked that I have been in the building all year long.
Just being organized, trying to stay on top of organization has made it a little more stressful. I mean, not terrible. I'm glad that, a lot of schools were all online, and I'm glad that we were at least here the 5 days a week, because I know, I have nephews over by Madison, and they've been out of school, and my sister desperately wants them back in school because it's hard to keep them motivated, and they're just losing out on a lot of their education.
The biggest challenge for me has been trying to stay motivated. I think it's just that staying positive, because everyone is kind of in the slums. Everyone seems to be turning into zombies, kind of. Everyone's in their own world. Everyone's more focused on themselves than anyone else. And everything has seemed to become really bleak. There's no more expressions. I pass people in the hallway and everyone's just drones. They're all straightforward. Nobody is saying hi to each other. Nobody's smiling at each other.
Yeah, it's down a lot more. Well, I guess it depends if you're online or in person. I think in person, for me, I do a lot better in person. But when I had COVID and I was doing online school, I know it was a little rough. I got a lot of missing assignments. It's harder for me to do my work.
I think the kids that decided to do online school are not very motivated. It's just hard to be self-motivated to do online school. I've done it before, and you have to be self-motivated, especially when your parents aren't there telling you, hey, do your work. There's nobody there to tell you that, and you got your video games, TV, whatever. Nobody's there to wake you up. I don't think the kids that stayed home and chose to do online schooling were very motivated.
I think that we have some students that are falling through the cracks with the system. And it's not necessarily all their fault, but people sometimes fall through the cracks, aren't passing classes, and don't want to come back into the building.
I switched to online after the first trimester of the school year because I hated in person.
It was a lot more stressful for me until I switched to online. I was not used to seeing people, so then I just wasn't used to in class anymore. and I just learned better at home.
I think, especially for second trimester, a lot of students chose to do the online option, and that I think brought the energy down even more because we were missing so many of the people that we've been with for so long.
At Barron High School, we didn't shut down our schools at all. We had a normal school calendar. Students had a choice. They could either choose virtual if they wanted to, or they could choose face-to-face. And we had approximately 90% of our students choose face-to-face instruction. What I don't like about the way things currently are some students that learn better face-to-face have to be virtual because of health situations in their households that cause them to be at home, where I can see that they're not as successful as they would have been if they would have been here with face-to-face instruction.
I probably have, I think I had like 106 kids during the day, so about 10% of my kids were quarantined.
Estimate, I would say 25% probably, somewhere in there, I would guess. I had quite a few of 8th graders that got quarantined. I was down to 2 kids in my class.
Approximately 70 people have been quarantined either because of close contacts or having COVID.
I was quarantined for 14 days.
I have. It was right at the end of Christmas break and leading into the first couple days back at the school. It's because of my own family.
Yes, both when I didn't have COVID and when I did have COVID. Total, probably about 3 weeks.
I think the problems masks pose is that it's in the communication process where you can't read students' or teachers' facial expressions, and being able to see an entire face, it means something because most of communication is nonverbal. So when you have most of the face covered up, it's kind of hard to read people. So I'd say that part has been most difficult.
I think communication verbally has changed a lot because you can't read people's expressions.
The only problem that I've had is it's a constant reminder to wear them appropriately and not like a jock strap on their chin.
It's usually the same kids over and over.
And to me, it seems like it's the same kids day after day.
When you told a kid to take off his hat, they usually did. If they didn't, then you sent them to the office or whatever. When you told, it wasn't that kids weren't wearing their mask. It was like this: cover your nose, please, and then that, and then it's down here. So it wasn't put the mask on; it's pull it up, wear it properly.
So to have them up over the nose and mouth.
And then I personally had kids that would argue about the effectiveness of the mask.
I think masks are being used kind of politically in some ways, like still having to after you're vaccinated, and even if after you've had COVID and you can't get it right away and stuff like that. I think it'll be used as rationalization to keep masks forever for the betterment of everyone, like even after COVID is away, let's say, just to stop spreading all kinds of sickness to other people.
And like I said, I have one class at the middle school, and middle schoolers are way worse than high schoolers. And now that the mask mandate is now a recommendation, most of the kids at the high school are still wearing theirs. There are a few walking around without them. We can't enforce it. But of a class of 15 8th grade students, I think I have 2 that still wear their masks.
I have gotten vaccinated. I believe it's safe and effective, and I believe I'm just doing my part to try to get us to herd immunity.
I got vaccinated.
No, because I've already had COVID.
I have not gotten vaccinated. What are the long-term effects? I don't know, so I probably won't get vaccinated.
I think things will somewhat be normal next year. To me, a lot depends on the vaccinations.
I think masks might go away. Some social distancing stuff might go away, but I don't think we'll ever go fully back to normal.
I don't think everything will be back completely to normal, but I think masks will be gone.
I'm looking forward to getting back to a normal school year as soon as possible, which hopefully by September 1st, 2021, we are back at full capacity. There's no social distance requirements. Masks are not required. students can come in and know they're going to have a relatively normal year again.